Hello and welcome to Pub Talk with Dan Hooker and Oscar Willis. This is a new show that we started without any discussion. Cheers. Any discussion, any planning.
Sid, meet me at the pub.
Yeah, other than Dan has time to kill and I like making content. And if I do it in the pub,
fuck this up, baby.
I can charge for the alcohol. So Dan, that's really the whole motivation. But thanks for joining me, Dan.
No trouble.
We're going to do this until he probably goes home to New Zealand, which will be when the government forgives him for all the nasty things he said.
It's not looking likely.
Yeah.
It's not looking likely.
Well, there's a few things to talk about in the world of MMA. But we'll start with the one most relevant to you. As a tourist destination, Abu Dhabi, not for you.
Abu Dhabi has really not been good to me,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I don't know, we were going to kill like the UFC sponsorship.
Well, listen, as a member of the media who goes there, all I can say is I love Abu Dhabi and I can't wait to go back.
I'm going to pull my Abu Dhabi card out.
Yeah.
No, Fire Island is incredible.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to talk about the country, but your experiences there, I think, are pretty
No, well, it
public.
depends. I go, all the fight experiences have couldn't have gone worse. Couldn't have gone worse if I had tried.
Yes.
So that's like...
You did try.
Yeah.
Good.
But if I had tried to lose,
Yeah.
probably couldn't have done worse than what I did, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Yeah, so we'll talk about like the Michael Chandler one. We've done that. But
We've got that.
we've done that. That's in the book.
It's in the past. now.
What happened in the Islam fight? I mean, we saw what happened, but for you, just
Yeah, but what,
you zigged, it zagged, fucking.
what happened? Like,
Yeah.
what? It's pretty, like, that whole thing's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. Was that just like miserable? Because you were obviously the underdog, and Islam is obviously this great grappler and stuff. But to get in there, like, did you feel when you were against him that, this guy's really good at grappling, or did you just make like one little mistake and he took advantage, or like what happened?
Oh, I wouldn't say like one little mistake. It's like a series of mistakes. Like,
Accepting the fight, traveling to.
Nah, not that. Like, regardless of the circumstance. The circumstance is the circumstance. You can't. Like, that's what I agreed to.
Yeah.
I agreed to the circumstance. So as soon as you sign the contract, all of those reasons, they go out the window. You completely lose track because
Right.
that's not what I accepted. Like, I accepted the fight under those conditions.
Right.
So to then go back and say, those conditions, like, that's irrelevant. Like, the circumstances are like completely irrelevant. I'm talking about like in the fight, just some mistakes that just shouldn't have been made, and that's completely on me. I'm the one that has to like bear the brunt of that, and which I will.
Yeah, we won't dwell on it too much because I'm sure it's not a particularly fond memory, and it only happened like the other fucking day. But did he feel like this supreme grappler that you'd heard about, or did it just feel like, shit, I'm in a bad position and he's going to take advantage of it?
I would just say like he's super patient. Like, he's just like real patient. Just like he got the takedown, which was obviously my bad. Like, secured it, my bad again. Like, that's two of the many mistakes. But like he was just quite comfortable like waiting there. So again, tried to force it a little bit too much, like getting back up and obviously exposing it. Like, I wasn't like comfortable just sitting there and just staying there for the next 3 minutes. Like, my bad. And he was like,
But you're kind of in a weird position where you got to do something, right? Because if he's that patient and just that good, then he's going to make.
of course. Like, you have to.
Were you pissed off at the referee? There was some talk that like you were kind of pissed off at the ref after the fact.
I thought I said it in my head. I don't like. To be honest, I haven't even gone back and
I've
watched the
done that,
fight.
but usually there's narcotics.
I mean, like,
involved.
my arm and like getting racked up, and I just said, I thought I said it in my head. I said, fuck. I said it in my head, but obviously I don't have to go back and watch it because obviously I said it out loud. Like, obviously that came out. That came out of my mouth hole instead of like just staying in my head.
It's a good summary of the
I
whole
was
fight.
like, got me. Fuck. Came out loud, and then that's why I thought I had said it in my head. So initially, when like the refs like starts breaking up, I was like, "What?
Really?
Let it break?" You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad you didn't let it break, but I appreciate it. It was a bit weird having like Habib and Hasbulla come in and be like, "Hey, buddy," after the fight.
God. That was pretty hard. Like, I'm standing there, and because I know his trick where he does the photo.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he gets a photo, he like punches the guy, and then Khabib comes over. Got to take it. You got to wear that shit. Like, that's just part of it. That's part of losing. Is like you got to stand there in the ring, let the other guy get his roses, and you got to just stand there and take it on the chin. That's just the way it is. But to have like Hasbulla come over, and when he come over, and I was just like shook his hand. I was like, if this tiny motherfucker touches me, I was like, I'm gonna ace him right off Khabib's shoulders. Like I'm not in the mood. But he didn't. So that was all good.
I think I was behind you when you had your back to the cage, and when Hasbulla came over, you did that, and then I just saw you walk away shaking your head. I was like, oh, bro.
Yeah, I did it, and I was like, if he swings, I am gonna ace. I was like, I'm gonna run one of these right through him.
There's a headline for the first show. Dan Hooker threatens Hasbulla.
Oh, whoa.
No. You got back. I saw you after the fight. You guys looked like you were having a great time. There's a few Corona bottles drunk by the time I got back to the hotel.
Oh, back to the hotel. How else do you deal with that?
Yeah. I said to you, I was like,
drown those sorrows.
You did a lot of drowning. I said to you, I was like, how do you feel? You went, how do you fucking think I feel, cunt? I was like, okay, it's not great, right? But you got back home. Now you have the wife and kids, over.
Yeah.
Kids? How many
kids?
One
daughter.
Has that just been great? Is that like the perfect salve?
Oh, it's like that's it's like hard to be upset with them like that. Like whatever. Like we come back, like me and Frank continue to drown our sorrows.
Yes, I got a lot of texts from Frank
for another couple of days, and then then like the family arrived, and it's back to like you're back in like family mode. It like switches the modem a bit, and once they're there, once you see your daughter, like you see that she actually doesn't care, and like you remember like what you're actually doing it for. At the end of the day is like set your family up for life, like set your daughter up for life. Like she's never even gonna know she's never even gonna know this event even happened. Like she'll go back and
like you said, you bought her a house, right? That's what matters, right?
I'm sure she'll be more happy about that.
Do you know what I mean? I think out of the two of them, but is it also better because I know that while you're over here on your own, it's basically just like sleep, eat, train. So with them, it surely must break up, and now with our new hit show, it surely must break up like the boredom of just being here in a foreign country without the people you hang out with. And all that shit.
Yeah, like they came in and we went to done all the Vegas stuff, took them down to the
Hopefully
strip.
not all the Vegas stuff with your daughter.
No, definitely not all the Vegas stuff.
Yeah.
All the family-friendly Vegas stuff. I'm finding Vegas
all three things.
It's actually quite family-friendly.
Yeah.
It's actually quite good.
It's decent, isn't it?
Went down to the strip, took them around the Venetian, everyone's
nice.
because my wife's never been to Vegas as well.
Yeah. How's she finding it?
Yeah, better than New Zealand at the moment.
Yeah.
She's allowed out of her house and she can go to shops and move around.
Do you think you'd ever move here full? I know the team's moving over and all that stuff, but do you think you could ever see yourself being like, fuck, there's a life for me in America, or are you going to be New Zealand eventually when it all sorts itself out?
Yeah, I don't know what the gym's plan. I'm following the plan, They're all saying, let's move to America.
I'm here!
I says, I'm here, boys. Anyone else gonna come? It doesn't look like it.
It's Brad Riddell. He's coming, right?
Nah, the boys are coming out.
Yeah.
So we got I guess it's just a couple of dead weeks. So we got the next couple of weeks where we're just, sightseeing in Vegas, shopping, moving around, and then I think Huge and Brad are gonna come over.
Oh, cool.
For
when
Brad.
Huge gets here, the rest are definitely coming. Yeah.
For Brad's fight, I think he's gonna come back. Go back. He got a spot or something.
He's one of the chosen.
Then the week after, Kai and his family are coming out.
Nice. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, well, there's been 7 lotteries. I've missed all of them. So I don't know if someone's put a little black dot, someone's put a little black line.
When I spoke to you in Abu Dhabi and you said you'd like to see Francis Ngannou versus your...
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I did think when you said it, I was like, that's an interesting tactic.
It's funny, there's been a couple of All Blacks, and they've just done, oh man, we tried our first lottery and we got spots. And
Miracle.
I'm like, you bastards. I've done 7, not even close, because there's you get a number. I haven't even been above 10,000, top.
You're in the shit here.
You need to be, they really put a line through the name.
Fuck Dan Hooker. Yeah. Do you, will you plan on going to the fights while you're here? Is the Apex just a decent Saturday's entertainment?
Oh, Oh, get to it like as many as you can.
Yeah.
You know, they're throwing the tickets at me before, but you know, you lose favor.
No, seriously,
they're not
bastards.
They're not texting Frank back. So I think
I'll speak to you, Amber. That's fucked. Have a bit of respect.
I mean, they say, "Oh, Dan Hooker wants tickets."
Well, to be fair, I've been in the
Dan
media.
Hooker wants tickets. Get out of here, boy.
Call Makhachev.
Come back as well. Win your bum.
I've been in the media room and seen fighters just walk in and wait there long enough, and eventually they just get given tickets because what are you gonna do? Just kick them away.
Wow, we are boys with all the security guards. You know.
Just fucking walk in.
Just go down.
I was here before.
Getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Just being like, you can't come in.
Today, Dan Hooker was kicked out of the Apex. Yeah, there you go. Swig. The long-term goal of this is...
What is that?
This is... that's the name of the bar. That's called Bud Light.
Oh, Bud Light.
This is like fucking the easiest thing I could
It's
order.
good, right?
Well, I figured the long-term plan is we can get like local beers, because I know there's a guy in Ireland who just started this pub and he's very proud of his stout. So we're eventually going to try like local beer.
Stout?
Yeah, he's got like an alternative to Guinness. I'm talking about Conor McGregor. I don't know if you got that.
I'm following.
There you go.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Oh my God!
I didn't see that.
Whiskey! Fuck!
Did
Did they bring that over here? It's a very classy establishment. But yeah, so we're talking about going to the UFC this Saturday, Holloway versus Rodriguez. Like, if you're going to go to any of them, that's a good fight, right? Like, when you look at that fight, that was a fucking seamless segue by me, by the way. But when you...
It was.
Thank you. I'm almost good at this. Award nominated.
You're a
don't
pro.
you?
Nominated.
Yeah, I actually am. It's a complete con. When you look at that fight, do you think it's going to go the way loads of people think, where Holloway just swarms him and kind of fucks him up a bit?
I don't know. I think like a lot of people would have like had that plan against Gaethje, where they just like close the distance. But he is very, he's like very good at keeping his distance. Like very good at keeping his range. Is actually like his understanding his positioning, like where he is in the cage, where he needs to go, like where his exits are, is actually quite good. If I feel like if Max takes over, it'll be later. Like it'll be
But
later.
against Calvin, he came on so fast, so strong, right? Like so.
That's like Calvin wants to stand there. Like it's very easy to like get into that range and fight dead in front of a guy or square on a guy that wants to be there. Like that's like Calvin's style of fighting. Like that's just standing here like square. Like that needs to be an agreement. Like fights like that where guys throw 500 punches, like things like that need to be an agreement. Like we both come out and we want the same thing. That's how like a fight like that happens. Like Yair, that's the only place like he's not gonna agree to fight there. Like if it happens, it's gonna be because Holloway forced him to fight there, which is gonna take some time. Like especially when like Yair is fresh and he can actually like his legs are like explosive and he can really fight for distance and keep the range. Like then I feel like it's going to be difficult in the first couple of rounds.
Do you think the small cage matters? I feel like because Yair loves the distance.
Big time. Like I didn't notice it because that's not even like a fight night cage. That's like the
25 foot across.
It's tiny. It wasn't until I got in there with Poirier, I was like, oh,
Hello,
it's
mate.
right there. Because like anyone, like I like to move and keep my range and be long, and you just, I feel like it's a whole different level of composure. Like it can be done. Like Israel's done it in that cage before. Israel's done it in the Apex cage, but like Tavares when he fought the Ultimate Fighter cage, like it can be done. Like a fighter in that smaller cage can keep his range. So it's not like the be all and end all. It just takes like another level of like understanding and just composure.
Out of the two of them, it would favour Max, right? Because Yair's the one who's going to want to keep his distance at kicking range. So if Max,
the cage size.
Yeah, the cage. Yeah, you'd think if Max, like, I remember there were sequences in the Calvin fight, and I know what you're saying about they need to agree to fight like that. But when he got Calvin sort of like overwhelmed with the punches, and Calvin just gets backed up against the fence, that's like Max's territory all day long. I feel like when it's smaller, it's just easier for Max to get Yair against the cage, right?
Yeah, if he's like really forcing it, like Yair, like he can wrestle like very well.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like he's gonna really force the takedown and hold him down or anything like that.
It's more likely to do like some fucking backflip, front flip, kick to the head. You know? That's what they're called.
That does it. Oh man, he does some pretty wild stuff.
I feel like he is kind of underappreciated, man, because he never like fights regularly. Like when I went.
Like recency bias in fighting is like 90% of the things. Like whatever happened last is like the best thing that ever happened in the world. Like once you see his highlight reel, you're like, oh no, this. I
watched this Jeremy Stevens fight, and I was
kid's
like,
an
shit.
absolute gun. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's that consistency. Like people want to see people not only fighting, but they want to see them fighting every single weekend. Defending their spot, like fighting up, fighting down. Like,
well, I mean, like Holloway himself, he could have not taken this fight, right? He could have just waited and probably fought Alex just next time, right? But I guess he wanted to keep it. I think it's also bad. Actually, it reminds me of what we're going to talk about in a second with Leon Edwards. But it's not great when Dana's like, well, I don't like fighters who sit out, and Carla Esparza's there like, but I should fight for the title. And he's just like, no, the recency bias, this guy or this girl's going to fight for the title, you know? Yeah. This sport is like a very unfriendly one to people who just kind of chill, you know?
Yeah, like, it's just, she might have turned something down.
That's
like,
almost certainly what happened.
That's almost certainly what happened. Like, she turned something down. This is just pure speculation. I don't know anything. Like,
but you know how, like, I think anyone who's going to be watching
and
this...
And they punish it. Like, it's to be punished.
That's why, like, Leon Edwards is like, he's had this win streak. He should probably be fighting for the title. And I'm concerned that if he doesn't take a replacement in December and they book Hamzat versus Gilbert Burns in December or something, Leon's going to be very fucking lucky if he gets the next title shot, if one of them has a great performance. Do you know what I mean?
Very real possibility. I feel like this one's not so much because it's not his fault. Like, Masvidal pulled out injured.
Do you think it's weird that Masvidal pulled out?
Because he's probably going to do the Ultimate Fighter with Colby Covington. Like, that's a good show though, right? You want to watch that? I want to watch that. I'll watch that.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, that's a great...
Do you find it weird that he pulled out 2 days after Colby said, pull out and let's do the Ultimate Fighter? Is there anything in that?
Hey, a fight's not agreed to a contract signed. Like, I don't like, even though it's been announced and it's been set here and you see it on the paperwork, like until pen is to paper, nothing means nothing. Like, not everything can be changed until you sign on the dotted line.
That show would be good though.
It would be incredible. That would be like, I would tune in and watch that.
I found it funny because Alex and Brian got on for the most part in their filming. Their show was a little bit tame. I remember there was like talk of like maybe Izzy and Darren Till doing it. I actually saw
that. That'd be good banter. But there's no like malice. That'll be like two mates just giving each other shit.
I feel like I saw Till in New York and actually told him, I was like, I don't think they could air anything you guys would do. They just like shitting in each other's houses and fucking stuff like that. I could just see it being so brutal.
I don't think you could get. I don't think Huge wants to touch the Ultimate Fighter.
I can understand that too. Like as a coach,
it's also it's like showing. It's like it's like putting your wall down. It's like welcoming the world in to see your system. Like it's pretty. And I'm not saying like if people were able to watch a month of training that, like his whole system would be exposed. But it's like you don't want to give anyone anything. Like you don't want to give,
especially at that level, right?
You don't want to give anyone a bone. Like you don't want to give even just to see you how your training operates. Like people will watch that and just be like, oh, they just train like we train. Like, well,
Well, there's certain minds in MMA, like certain coaches who can, like Huge is one of them. Like he can just see things and pick up things, and he can take stuff out like that and make a plan around it. So it would make sense to me that you wouldn't want Israel on camera just teaching little, like, even mentality stuff, So I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
You said about fights that take place like right in front of each other, and that's like an agreement. Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje is basically the epitome of that agreement.
That was a preconceived agreement.
It seemed like it, didn't it? It certainly seemed Michael didn't have anywhere else to go other than like that fight. I mean, fair play. I hold my hands up and said I thought that Michael's chin wasn't going to hold up to Gaethje. Like I kind of saw that fight maybe looking like it did.
It's just how wild he fights, man. Like he actually, it's funny. Like he's just a guy has like actually no sense of self-preservation. Like that's not like a knock. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. It's not even like he's yeah, it's not like a secret. He just goes out there, and it's like a lot of people say it, like kill or be killed.
Yeah.
Like the guy is kill or be killed.
Yeah, I thought it was. I think Chandler, like this whole Dana White privilege stuff and stuff like that. Mike said like it's obviously just a quick rise to the top, and I think he's a really easy guy for the UFC to work with. So maybe there's a bit of that involved. But I think it certainly answered a lot of critics when he's like literally hands by his sides, being smacked in the face by Gaethje, spitting out blood, and being like, "No, come on, more." Because not many people do that to Justin. Do you know what I mean? So good performance.
Not many people do that.
Period. And to be fair, probably not the smart thing to do.
Sport. Yeah, for sure. Like he's just trying to do what he do. I feel like at the time he was doing that, Justin had his range. Justin was like had the understanding of the rhythm of the fight. Like everyone could kind of see where it was going. So he had to do something like that. It's like appeal to Justin's like more natural instincts, which is when someone's putting their hands down is to start taking a bit more risk and hopefully he makes a mistake, or hopefully he gets a bit wild, or hopefully he gets drawn into that kind of gunfight. So like even though it's putting his hands down and letting him hit him, it's like,
well, it's not winning him the fight.
Method to the madness. Yeah. Method to the madness.
But it's not winning him the fight either, right? If you can't get Justin to do that, then
like it's a pretty easy option for Justin. It's like, well, if I don't swing
if
like
I don't
a
go
madman,
fucking mental,
I'm going to win anyway. So it's like, yeah, he did the right thing.
What do you think's next for Michael Chandler? What would you do if you were the apart from
giving? I saw McGregor and him.
Yeah. I saw him today. Chandler said he weighed in at 155, and 72 hours later it was 191 or something like that.
Massive.
Yeah, massive. So he actually called out today. He called out Conor at 170. Which to imagine Chandler at 170 is just like a weird physical, like just the size versus the size. It's like I can't imagine. He must be
maybe he's just doing it to try to like letting Conor know, like appeal, because obviously Conor wants to fight. It's just 255 is about a weight cut, which is the smartest thing to do.
If you could pick one, Justin versus Charles or Justin versus Dustin, which one's more exciting to you?
Who again?
Justin Gaethje. He won the fight versus either Dustin or Charles.
Oh, that Dustin fight again.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a banger. That was a good fight.
That's wild. Yeah, like obviously watch that fight like a bunch of times. Yeah, to watch Gaethje versus Poirier again. Like,
do you think Poirier seems to be the favorite, right?
I would say just momentum. Like shit. I'm not saying like Charles is got pretty good momentum as well, but just like Poirier seems, I don't know, he just seems in like a different place. Like a lot of the sport is like a wave of momentum, a wave of someone's physical health, their mental health, like where they at. Like a lot of that comes into play, and I feel like just right now in Poirier's career, he's just in the best place he's ever been in, or in like in a pretty much a great mental and physical state.
Is it as simple as like Oliveira knocked out Chandler, Gaethje didn't knock him out? Is it as simple as it's the punch you don't see? Is it just that?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like people used to say that. People always say like after my fights, after the Poirier fight, after Barboza fight, they're like, man, you get hit a lot. Like you're gonna get knocked out. Your chin. Like I never said I have a good chin. Like I don't say like. It's a myth. Like it's a complete myth that someone has a good chin. I wouldn't stick my chin in the ear, close my eyes, and let my missus punch me in the chin, because she'd probably knock me out.
There was a joke to be made there about something else.
But yeah, like you don't put your chin in the air and let anyone hit it, and that's not someone doesn't have a good chin or a bad chin. It's like there's just people that it's just like punches. Obviously the ones you don't see are like. Definitely the worst.
I was talking to Teddy Atlas after the fight. Shout out Teddy Atlas, he's awesome. He was saying that he believes there can be a time where a fighter gets so determined in their head that if they see a punch coming, they can almost will their mind into not being knocked out by it. Like if they can be so determined that they can get hit and just be like, no. And
well, it's like if you can see it. Like I've been in fights like that where it's like you can see him, so you can anticipate it. Like I can. Like brace for it, and obviously if I'm braced for it, it's like if I'm gonna shove you, and you're gonna then bend your legs.
I'm 5'8", Dan. I go that way. Whatever I do.
Yeah, you're gonna bend your legs when I hit you. You're gonna like brace for it. And you're not gonna go that far. If I walk up behind you and I shove you from behind, when you weren't expecting it. Like you're gonna go flying across the room.
I have a random story about that. When we were younger and little scumbags, we were in a town called Brighton.
You're still a scumbag.
That's true.
That's a lie.
That's true.
Carry on.
I was in the hotel room after the fight. You're a fucking scumbag, dude. We were in Brighton. This is so fucking bad. Sorry, Elliot. My mate Elliot we had no money to buy any food because we were just like, been on the piers, night out. And Elliot, my friend, was like, do you know what? I'm going to stand by this pizzeria. And when this geezer comes out holding pizzas, I'm going to shove him, pick up the pizzas and run and we'll have food. I was like, I'm in. And the guy was holding pizzas and Elliot walked up behind him and shoved him from behind. The guy took one step, just turned around and went, what was that? And then he was fucking sprinting down the road. Yeah.
It's like crap was shove it.
Yeah, it's bad. He had his hands full anyway. Yeah, that's me.
You just grabbed the pizza box.
Because
what if you knocked him? The pizza flipped down and all went on the ground. Like, how is he going to...
Well, we were hungry, Dan. We were drunk. I don't think we really cared at that point. It was like, although I can see if you're like, mushroom, you fucking prick. You fucking gave me a pepperoni. Yeah. Have you ever done it? Or actually, I know the answer to that, but like, give us a drunk. Yeah. I know a scummy story. There must be 100. Which like, what do you remember if I say to you like a moment where you let yourself down? Like, is there a time where you were drunk where you're like, shouldn't have done that? No.
Oh. There's like endless. That's a big call.
I've got quite a list.
List with
it's like which one's going to be fucking done for at this point?
It's like
statute of limitations.
Processing like legal.
Yeah. Well, they're all illegal.
Borderline.
Yeah.
They're all illegal.
They're all illegal, Dan. You can't just do that to other people.
There's something I'm like proud of. I used to do a thing when you would like see a camera like in town, like having a night out, and you see a town. I used to just pull my pants down and go running like in front of the camera. And it's funny, I got myself on like it was like a 60 minutes like special. It was like a 60-minute special.
You were never getting back in the country no matter what.
It's like a 60-minute special for like teen drinking. This was when I was like 20, I can't even remember. But I was like, I saw myself, I was on the ad. You know, you're like sitting there. I was like sitting there watching the TV and then I saw, up next, 60 minutes. Teen drinking in New Zealand. And I saw myself run down the road with no pants on. And I was like, when I got my mum, I was like, Mum, come watch this. Come watch this. And she's just sitting there like watching. And she was like, oh no, what's going to happen? I go, look. Just see me go running down the road. I pulled my hood up before I did it. Because my sister was there. Like she was there live. And I saw like the camera and I was like, she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I can't not do it.
Yeah, listen.
So at least I pulled my hood up before I did it. So you couldn't see my face.
It's not bad.
So my mum, I think she recognized the legs. She was like,
the legs,
the skinny white legs. She was like, that's my son.
Go on, boy.
She was like, well, yeah, she turns to me and she goes, well, at least you pulled your hood up.
Yeah.
Walked off.
Yeah, of my 19th birthday or something, I fucking pissed against I was drunk in town, I pissed against the shop window. It was like middle of the night. As I was walking out, the police saw me on the cameras, they came round. And in the time it had taken me to get there, I'd forgotten I'd done it. So they were like, you just pissed against that window. I was like, no, I fucking didn't. You're lying, you're chatting shit. And they were like, you did? And I was like, arrest me then. Go on, see if I care. So my friend had to say, you did piss on the window. I was like, then I hold my hands up, get me a mop.
Man, they used to have a couple down like the alleyways in Auckland where you go, I don't know if they have it, where it'd be like an alleyway, but if you go into the corridor, so if you go to piss in the corridor, there's like a sprinkler comes on.
No way!
Yeah.
We used to have cameras with an operator, so they'd be like, can you please put your penis away?
Yeah. New Zealand's not up to the play.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're like, you'd piss there, but it'd have like a couple of second delay, like between the sensor and the thing. So it's got enough time for you to pull your dick out before it goes. So you're standing there, oh, that's right.
You're probably thinking like, what happened tonight? Like,
yeah. Used to get everyone, because I used to, and then like years later be like a doorman in town. That gave me hours of entertainment.
Really?
I'd just post up outside it, just watch them all. It was like, this one's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Drunk people are just the most predictable creatures in the world,
see it coming from a mile away.
Oh, mate, it's also like when this is probably getting cut, but when you'd come out, like, you'd see like loads of boys pissing and then just one lady squatting. You're like, oh, lady, you have a bit of decorum when it's all the rest of the lads.
That's so rough. That's so rough ones.
Yeah. Right. I've got in a segment I've cleverly called questions I'd like to ask.
You have a future in naming things.
Thanks, man. I'm
In
really,
the pub?
really
What are we?
pub talk.
Pub talk.
Questions I'd like to ask.
Question time.
No, question time's actually a thing in the UK. I can't steal that. But here's my idea: is that like you guys, the fans, the people we do it for, man.
Oh, they got questions.
They can comment in on this video, and the ones that get the most upvotes or whatever on YouTube, I'll ask you next week. So and I'll cut out the ones that.
Don't cut them out.
Okay.
Let them go.
But in the meantime, I just
Got thick skin. There's Dan Hooker's skin.
You got a thick
Dan
skin.
Hooker's skin is thick skin.
Fucking unless Hasbulla's there and he's just getting.
That's not thick skin. That's just if this midget touches me, I am gonna
I don't
run
think you
this.
can call them that anymore.
What do you call them? Little people.
Well, actually, to be fair, I once partied with 8.
What is his thing though? What? Because they're not like they don't have.
I don't
like,
actually
the
know.
walkers.
I think the thing about Hasbulla is no one actually knows.
My one was way. I don't want to brag about taking some wins, but my one was Abdul was like one could sing.
Yeah.
I had
Really?
more. Everyone go away. Watch Abdul. Look up his Instagram. My guy can sing. My guy dresses in a tuxedo. You didn't see him in his tuxedo ringside. Yeah. My guy combs his hair. Like my guy was on, you know what I mean? He come in with
He
like
had a nice iWatch
like
or whatever.
polished shoes and stuff. I was like, this guy's put together. Like Hasbulla, it's a tracksuit.
I have a theory. I think those two are fighting on the next Abu Dhabi card. Well,
Nah.
I fucking can see it. I can see it happening. Dana's just
My
been a bit
missus
aloof.
asked me yesterday. She was like, I think she's because he sees crazy stuff on the internet, right? I think she's seen it. She was like, oh, I think Hasbulla and Abdul are gonna have a fight. She's like, isn't there? Would she
Against
say
the
like,
law?
no? She's just like, well, I think she said that, but she's like, isn't that like you as like a fighter and a martial artist? Isn't that like insulting to have them on the same card? And I was like, no. I was like, what?
Make sure I fight before this so I can get back
Yeah,
out and watch. It does strike me.
I would never be insulted. I was like, you could put anything. You could pull out a tub with jelly and have 2 ladies wrestling there for all I give a shit. Like, it's all combat to me. Like, as long as everyone's getting paid, I do not care.
Well, I think I can imagine how people are going to react to that. Like, if the only reason I say that is because Dana said
Would be a good fight.
it'd be interesting. Do they get the smaller cage or the bigger one? And does it make a difference? Probably not.
What if they brought out like a drop? You know how they do it in.
So a 30 foot, 25 foot,
they
they bring
do
up.
it in like wrestling where they're just like it's a cage match.
Cage match.
So there's like the cage, there's like the ring or whatever, and then they drop the cage down.
Do you know,
I reckon they have the big cage, and then they drop like a little smaller cage down, and then the 2 of them get at it in the smaller cage.
I mean,
because they'll be running around forever. Like no one
Yeah.
wants to watch a steering contest, right?
I don't know. They look like they have a bit of spirit to them. I can see them doing a Gaethje
You're
charge.
going straight at it. They're going straight at it.
Yeah. Well,
But do they have the power to knock each other out?
I don't know. You wouldn't have thought so, would you? It's going to have to be a
I've never
submission.
seen, I've never seen
You'd probably,
like a child that small like knock anyone out.
I've
You
never
have
been.
to generate like.
I've never been attacked by a child.
I've
That's
seen
small.
them.
To be honest.
Not like ferociously, but like a child. You've never seen like a child knock another child out.
No.
That's all I'm saying. Even like a. What are they the size of? Like a 6-year-old? Or
I mean, I'll say this. I have been with a grown lady of Hasbulla's stature before.
No way.
Twice.
Oh yeah.
2 separate occasions.
The same size.
No. I'm well aware that my parents will likely watch this video, so now I'm just like, well, I've dug my hole that I can't climb out of.
Forget the cameras. Cut it out if you want. I'm genuinely interested in how this went.
I would say waist high. On me, and I'm 5'8". Yeah.
The same one that Hasbulla had?
No,
I
think
dwarf?
I think a dwarf would be. I don't know the PC terms. Don't write letters. But
I don't read comments.
Yeah,
you
well,
can say whatever you want.
back to
All right,
questions.
go. Well, you're reading them. I'm not.
Well, yeah. So I basically just Googled these ones and was like, stupid questions, and then I made up names of people who asked them. So Susan from Berkshire asks, how many chickens would it take to kill a lion?
Whoa. Nah, you're talking 10,000.
10,000. I reckon 1,000. They're fucking nasty little cunts.
Nah, they are. They're incredibly territorial.
My parents keep chickens, and they just peck the
They're
peck
nasty.
the living
They
shit
pick,
out of each
they
other.
pick like one out. Yeah, they're like bully one.
The weak one, yeah.
Yeah. They'll like pull its feathers out, pick it to death.
And but yet still 10,000.
Nah, you've talked me around. I'm gonna go 500.
Before we
chasing it around, like they can chase it around.
Yeah.
Right?
Before we started this, you said I've never had my mind changed, and here I am today as the first.
Nah, as a doorman. I'm saying as a doorman with a drunk guy.
Well, similar.
I still wouldn't let you on my bar.
Colin from Crenshaw asks, brushing your teeth or wiping your ass? You've got to give up one. What would it be and why?
I have like follow-up questions.
Let's go.
You're not allowed to wash your ass at all.
Apparently it's brushing your teeth, wiping your ass. Give up one.
Could you go to the dentist? So you could wipe your ass.
I suppose
okay,
the
I would keep and then I would just go to the dentist
to get him to clean your teeth.
And get him to...
Solid. Billy from Los Angeles says, you've been alone on a desert island for a decade and you're finally brought back to civilization. You get the key to a presidential suite in a 5-star hotel. Which do you use first? The bedroom, the bathroom, or the bedroom?
Have a shower. Right.
Yeah, probably. Casper from Melbourne. Okay, submission radio. Do penguins have knees?
Nah.
No?
They go straight ass to foot. They got nothing.
Dennis from Melbourne. Do mermaids give birth to live children or do they lay eggs?
I want to think they lay eggs.
Yeah. And then they grow into little mer people.
Yeah. I want to think eggs.
All right. And Terry from Croydon asks, you're in your mum and your dad's in you. Do you move an inch forward or an inch back?
I don't understand the concept of that.
It's sexual.
Pass.
Pass.
I'm going to use my pass.
Okay, that's your pass. Well, that was the end of questions I'd like to ask, and I think the end of episode 1 of Pub Talks, which I think sufficiently covered talking in a pub.
We did.
Cheers, Dan.
Thank you, sir.